Welcome once again to the City of Maple Grove Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from CCX Media. Thanks for joining us, along with Heidi Nelson, Maple Grove City Administrator. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
We have a rather short meeting to talk about from February 6th, but a long list of things happening in the city that you're going to want to take note of, so stick with us for that. The meeting on the 6th, about 40 minutes in length, a couple items pulled from consent. Let's talk about those, Heidi, for a second. The first is recruitment approval for a fire inspector specialist. This is something that was, I believe, involved in the budget planning process.
Yeah, that's correct. So this was part of our 2023 budget, and Council Member Janico pulled this just to talk about the importance of our fire inspection program. And we've been falling behind a bit in terms of our commercial industrial properties and multifamily, and so needing to add some capacity here in staffing. So we'll be out to recruit now for this position.
City's website, maplegrovemn.gov, you can find out more. Street reconstruction, another item pulled from the consent. This is the program that goes on an annual basis. Again, I'll look at what this program is and an upcoming date people should take note of. Yeah,
so the action as part of the consent agenda here was really to kind of call for that public hearing and get those projects initiated. That public hearing will take place on March 6th, so if your property is included in the street maintenance program this year, you should have received information from the city about that over a couple points in time over the last year or so. So hearing coming up March 6th, information available within the council packet here, the map that kind of shows the areas that'll be under construction this year. So just a couple questions about how this is funded. The city for many years has done sort of a 50-50 split with residents. Half of the road improvements are paid through the levy and then half through a special assessment to the property, whether it be residential, multifamily, or commercial properties. We do cover the utility impacts, so whether there's water, sewer, or storm sewer that needs to be repaired or replaced while we're out there, those get paid through those utility funds. And so some questions about options for changing how that program is funded. Not a ton of options out there, but certainly there's cities that do it fully on the levy. There's cities that fully assess the full cost of the improvement to residents, and then there's other cities that utilize tools like franchise fees. So some requests for some additional information there that we'll be bringing forward to the council. But that March 6th meeting will be the night of that hearing, so planning for a full evening that night.
Moving on to the meeting again of the 6th. Next item was a oath of office for a longtime servant of the police department who now becomes a commander.
Yeah, so this was for Captain Travis Pabuda. He's been with the department for over 22 years. I think he's served in every capacity along the way. Patrol officer, investigator, Safe Streets Unit officer, patrol union president, patrol sergeant for 6 years, and then was promoted to a captain position over the past 2 years, and now promoted to a commander position. So now we kind of have a 3-commander structure there in the police department. So really grateful for Captain Pabuda and now Commander Pabuda's service to the community. This will be over the professional standards division, so kind of oversees all of the training and some of the ancillary services of the police department. So nice event there for him. His daughter was able to join him and pin on his badge as a commander, and so congratulations to Commander Pabuda.
Definitely. Now to public hearings, there were 3. We're going to combine the first 2 together as they were somewhat related. On the topic, public hearing and on-sale intoxicating and Sunday sale liquor license for 2 businesses. Give us those updates.
Yes, we have an ownership change at Rock Elm Tavern. This is up in the Grove, and so Paul Sartori, who also has the Optimal Performance Golf business that's kind of off of just north of County Road 81 there. That business is acquiring the Rock Elm Tavern business from owner Troy Redding, and so this was just a change in ownership. We have to kind of start over with the liquor license, so public hearing there on that one. And then a new business coming to town that we're real excited about is Rojo Mexican Grill. If you're familiar with them, they have a location down at the West End in St. Louis Park. So they are going into the shops at Arbor Lakes, kind of taking that end cap space where Patrick's was there. So they'll have an outdoor patio, and I know they've been in there doing some work on the interior of that space for quite some time and redoing some of the kitchen spaces. So they're looking for kind of a late April opening, but they were in front of us for their liquor license.
One other public hearing This was an easement vacation, and this is a homeowner looking to do a little adding on.
Yeah, so this is down in the Elm Road area, that new neighborhood right off of Yuma Lane there. So they putting in a porch in the backyard and needed to reconfigure some of the utility easements there, and so that one got approved as well.
Now to department updates, a few things happening in the different areas of the city, community and economic development items. First is new city building official. Tell us about this position and the person moving up.
Yeah, so this was part of our consent agenda earlier in the evening, but Colby Cartney has been appointed to our new building official with the city. We've made some structural changes here. The building official now report up through our community and economic development department, but Colby's been with the city about 7 years, and prior to that served with the city of St. Louis Park for a number of years, brings a great depth of experience and great training and education background. So we're really excited for Colby to kind of step into this new role. And then new planning commissioner will be joining. As you recall, the council did interviews on January 30th, interviewed 4 applicants and selected Stephanie Tomlinson, who's a longtime Maple Grove resident, to fill that new role on the planning commission.
Welcome to her. Speaking of the planning commission, let's talk about that upcoming meeting, February 13th. What are some of the items on the agenda?
Yes, we have 2 items for the February 13th Planning Commission. We have a lot consolidation up in the Line McLeod property holdings, and that is up around Maple Grove Parkway 610 area. And then we have a new business that's proposed out for 101 Bass Lake Road, kind of in those outlots out in front of the Hy-Vee grocery store. This one's called Soda Shine, and it's a combination car wash, dog wash.
Okay.
So real attractive looking building and some nice architecture there. So that one's out at 101 in Bass.
All right, keep your eye out and watch out for more of that business. Engineering Public Works, they are very busy doing a lot of cleanup work right now. Number one is tree trimming. It's that time of the year.
Yeah, so we've had a bit of a reprieve from the snow, except for the little burst we had last night,
Right.
which really didn't create a plowing event. But crews have been out trying to get that winter tree trimming done. We've been out moving snow in and around sidewalks, trying to get that full width back in those sidewalk and trail areas, as well as kind of clearing out some of those sight lines at intersections that have really gotten piled up, preparing for, possibly, more snow in
Right, it
March,
could
that
happen.
type of thing.
Right.
Trying to make room for some of those things. A couple other projects going on in the city. We have a couple pond dredging projects. So these are the projects that we anticipated with the new stormwater fee, that needing to get in and do some of this pond dredging work to clean out and make sure we have appropriate capacity in our storm ponds. One out by Garland Lane and Elm Road, and then 101 by the Appaloosa Woods neighborhood.
Okay.
And then just a project that's going to be coming to the council at their February 21st meeting is the County Road 101 project, and this is kind of from Lord of Life north up to Rush Creek there, if you're familiar, just north of Bass Lake Road, taking that to a full urban section, making some pedestrian improvements through there. Working with the county on that. They are bringing some dollars to the table for this project, so we're just trying to get those agreements wrapped up, and that project will come forward on the 21st to accept those bids.
Last items from the meeting on the 6th were some administrative updates. And number one, you mentioned that meeting coming up on the 21st. There'll be a special meeting ahead of that meeting.
Yeah, so we're in the winter months here where we have kind of a stack of work session items that we want to get through with the council. So we will be having work session time ahead of the council work session, or I'm sorry, ahead of the regular council meeting on February 21st. We're going to do some follow-up on the community survey and talk about some things that were identified there, areas for improvement. We're going to be talking about the Fernbrook Lane recycling drop-off site, as well as the future of the Old Village Hall. So some pretty meaty topics there. We might not get through everything on the 21st, but we'll look for some additional time on March 6th and the 20th as well, just to kind of work through these various issues over the winter months.
Very good. And your last update at the meeting was looking to St. Paul and the legislative session, and you've had some folks from the city down to the Capitol.
Yeah, it's been busy. They're moving pretty quick down there at the legislature this year, and so we do have a number of bills that are moving through the process. One of the bills that we've had hearings on is the sales tax exemption on the North Metro Regional Public Safety Training Facility. That project is almost complete in its construction. We're looking forward to a ribbon cutting later this spring, but we had been in the tax bill in the 2022 session and didn't really, we didn't make it out of that. There wasn't a tax bill approved, so we've had a hearing in the House, and then later this week we'll have have a hearing in the Senate. So we keep tracking those bills and just monitoring what's going on down at the Capitol.
Right. All right. We'll keep you up to date. That's it from the meeting from the 6th. Again, about 40 minutes in length. We'll tell you about the next meeting in just a minute. And speaking of that next meeting, it's going to be on a different day because City Hall is going to be closed.
Yeah, so we move our meeting to Tuesday, February 21st, Monday, February 20th. City offices will be closed in observation of President's Day.
Some information now about things that are out and about in the city. The first is the Residence Guide in the mail, stacked full of information for residents.
Yeah, so you should have received this in your home or at your business. If you haven't received one, we certainly have extra copies at the community center or at the government center. Lots of information about city resources in there, as well as a restaurant guide and a lot of information about city events.
It is also State of the City time of the year, and you had one event already, and another part of this is in the works. Tell us about both.
Yeah, so we participated in the I-94 West Chamber of Commerce. They do a State of the City luncheon. All the cities that are involved with that chamber, kind of Maple Grove and Due West, participate in that. And so that was a great event, well attended, over 300 attendees there in the room that day. But we are working on kind of a State of the City message for the city of Maple Grove specifically. Mayor Stephenson will be involved with that, as well as some city staff in terms of providing some updates about what's happened in Maple Grove and what we're looking forward to in the year ahead. We hope to have that video production ready probably by the end of February, early March timeframe, and get that out to the community.
Very good. Job opportunities. There are lots of job opportunities, both full-time, part-time, and also seasonal. Where can we find out more?
Yeah, so our city website always has job postings available there. I think a couple things of note. Over the last couple years, we've really tried to pay attention to kind of our salary or pay rates. We just recently implemented a compensation and classification study for city non-union staff positions. And so take a look. If you haven't looked at the city for employment, lots of great opportunities out there, and we're really trying to be competitive on the pay front.
Something important to Maple Grove is manufacturers, and there's something new, a manufacturers consortium, recently a kickoff event for that. Give us a little background and tell us about the event.
Yeah, so there's been several renditions of manufacturers consortiums up here in the Northwest Metro. Back when the North Hennepin Chamber of Commerce was in existence, there was a manufacturers consortium associated with that. So those things have kind of, come and gone over the years.
Right.
And so Brett Angel on our economic development team is initiating a new Maple Grove Manufacturers Consortium here specific to our businesses in Maple Grove, but it will also involve the Minneapolis Regional Chamber, Hennepin Technical College, and then North Hennepin Community College. And so we really want to invite all of the manufacturers in town, and there's some outreach going on just to gather. They'll meet once a quarter to discuss current issues, make connections with outside agencies, learn about relevant programs, and then just elevate the voices of manufacturers regionally. So lots of benefit here to be had for manufacturers in the community. So if there's folks out here that hear this that are interested, give a call up to the government center and reach out to Brett Angel.
Fantastic. All right. The police department recently got together to take a look back at last year and a look ahead as well. And this is an annual event they hold.
Yeah, so this is the one time a year really where they have all the police department staff in one place and get together for their annual meeting. And so it's a great opportunity to kind of reflect on the year gone by and look ahead to what we're focused on for 2023. And the day did include a special surprise, and so the I-94 West Chamber of Commerce nominated the Maple Grove Police Department for the Bernatello's Food Law Enforcement Recognition campaign.
Nice.
And so leadership from Bernatello's attended the meeting to personally thank the entire agency for their service and dedication, and provided pizzas to the officers. So that was a great treat for the police department that day.
All right. Hats off to the department for that. All right. There was a lot of activity outside this past weekend as we're recording this. Polar Plunge #1, and that continues to bring out so many people.
Yeah, remarkable numbers. 654 people jumped in the lake out at Fish Lake on Saturday, and they did have the benefit of the warmer temperatures on Saturday versus how it was on Friday. They raised over $160,000 for that event, and I know Sergeant Holzerland, and I saw Chief Werner jump, and Councilmember Christy Janico jumped, I think, twice. So we had a lot of involvement from our law enforcement community out there, and obviously from the public as well. So great day out at Fish Lake.
And we'll hop ahead a couple here. Wonders of Winter also occurred that day as well, and that's where the rest of the city was at that event.
It is where the rest of the city was. That was a great day out at Wonders of Winter. Again, just great weather. So the skating was full. Lots of people trying out croquis curl, which we've created that rink out there. So that's been really fun. Lots of the wagon rides provided by the Lions Club, that kind of thing. So yeah, really great turnout for that Wonders of Winter event as well.
All right, couple things to think about as homeowners as we go through the winter season here. The first is the camera registration program. So something, again, you're encouraging residents to take part in. What is that again?
Yeah, so this is an opportunity where residents and business owners can register with the police department to let them know that they have sort of external cameras on either their home or their business. And so if we have an incident in the area, we kind of know that there might have been cameras that captured what happened there. And so voluntary, completely voluntary. We don't have access to your cameras. It's really more just of an awareness piece where then we can reach out to see if we can capture some of that footage. And there have been times where that has been very helpful to the investigative process.
Another item for homeowners, it's recreational burn permit time. Again, seems like the wrong time of the year, but it's important to get it going here. Why should residents do this?
Yeah, it'll be summer here before we know it. So just a reminder that guidelines are in place for recreational fires and permits are required. There's no fee charged for this. It's really in an effort to make sure people understand kind of the limits of recreational fires in their backyard and what they need to be paying attention to. So they are an annual process. They expire on December 31st of each year. So now is a time to renew, and you can do that on the city's website on the fire department page.
Okay. This will be something we touch on throughout the year and maybe for the couple years. The community center expansion and renovation. Give us an update of where we are with that process and what are some important dates and things to remember.
Yeah, so we've got a few key pieces that are moving forward right now. We're working through a process to determine the architectural team that we'll work with on the design for the project, as well as construction manager risk services for that project. So those are working through. We're going to have interviews with the Park Board and City Council on the evening of February 16th prior to the Park Board meeting. So we'll see those things come forward on City Council agendas in the weeks to come. And then following, the election in November, we're then required to pass an ordinance in December, provide notice to the Department of Revenue about that local option sales tax. And so that will go into effect April 1 of this year, April 1, 2023, for that 0.5% sales tax in Maple Grove. And it's applied the same way as any other taxes applied, only those items that are, have sales tax applied to them. This applies to those as well. So more information can be found on the growingtogethermaplegrove.org website. We're going to keep that website live and updated as the project moves forward, as we start to probably embark on the design process late May, June. We've also got the state bonding requests that we're working on right now. So a few key items here lining up over the next few months, and we'll be getting going on design late spring, early summer.
All right, like I said, we'll keep you up to date on that project. A couple final notes to pass along. Here's a neat one. The city looking at the possibility of a community garden. So what does it take and who's involved in this thought?
Yeah, so the Parks and Recreation staff undertook a feasibility study for a potential community garden. They shared their findings with the Park Board recently and were directed to move forward with the proposed plan. So they've looked at comparable programs, community engagement, and site selection, and that'll all continue through 2023, and then plans would be to break ground this fall and rent plots for the 2024 season. So information available. It was on the Park Board agenda there, so if you want to go take a peek at that, lots of information available there, but look for more as we move into the later points of this year and getting ready for 2024.
Very good. February is Black History Month, and there's some things going on in the city of Maple Grove. One has to do with art. What is this?
Yeah, so the Teen Center at the Maple Grove Community Center is hosting a Black History Month virtual art contest. Youth are invited to share their talent in writing, poetry, and art to describe African American history in their life or their community who's had positive impact on them. So entries are accepted through February 13th, and you can do that through our website at maplegrovemn.org. I'm sorry, gov. .org.gov.
Gotcha. All right.
All right.
And final note is the farmers market. They are thinking about getting you in and shopping in, I said, inside for a little while, then outside. So
Yeah.
when is the indoor season back in action?
Yes, we have a couple dates coming up here for the indoor market, March 2, March 16th, March 30th, as well as April 13th. Hours are 3 to 6 inside the community center, and then we'll look to be getting outside in mid-May.
Sounds good. All sorts of goodies at the market on a regular basis, so make sure you stop by. Heidi, thanks again for all the information and bringing us up to date. Let's leave you with the next date. Again, it is a different date than normal. It will be a Tuesday for the next council meeting, February 21st, 7:30 at the Government Center. And as always, lots of information down at the bottom of the screen on the website, maplegrovemn.gov. For Heidi Nelson, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us on the City of Maple Grove Report.